back to their video, and in today's video we have our Forbidden Door 2025 results and review after a great show from AEW, a very long show, a lot to talk about after this, with a lot of great matches, and yeah, overall just a great night for AEW and I guess New Japan and CMLL as well.
Yeah, this was a really fun night. I guess I'll just kind of mention it here so we don't have to mention it during the show. We had a great return of Jamie Hayter coming out to finish off her feud with Thekla at some later date that we'll get into, probably next week on Dynamite. But yeah, this was an amazing show. This is one of the ones that usually these shows feel pretty long, but this one didn't really have that feeling. I feel like it kind of flowed pretty well and the pacing was really good.
Yeah, we kicked the night off with Adam Copeland and Christian Cage teaming up once again to take on Killswitch and Kip Sabian, and Cope and Christian come out on top and get the big win here. This match was alright, wasn't nothing crazy about it, but the crowd was very into it. Obviously, we've seen since Copeland joining AEW almost every week, they're singing his song and stuff like that, so yeah, big first match for these two, and looks like we have some potential for some tag team champions further down the line.
Yeah, the O2 Arena was definitely going nuts for Metalingus coming on, and they were absolutely loving it. Big hug from Adam, or Edge and Christian, I don't care. Edge and Christian, big hug from them at the end of the match. And it was kind of one of those funny things because Christian was kind of like, I don't want to hug you, but whatever. He was being kind of funny about it. But yeah, not a great match, but it was still pretty fun nonetheless.
Yeah, and then next up, it was followed up by the TNT Championship match where Kyle Fletcher retains over Hiromu Takahashi. Yeah, this was another very good match, one of my favorite matches of the night. Kyle Fletcher continues to show that he is one of the best guys in the company, and yeah, it's kicking off this TNT title reign very strong.
Yeah, this was probably my maybe second least favorite match of the night here. I didn't really care for this one a ton, but Kyle Fletcher did look very good, as well as Takahashi as well. It was a pretty fun match, but I feel like, maybe a little too long. I don't really know what the problem was with me in particular. But yeah, I just didn't really care for this one. But yeah, good match, and I'm looking forward to see what Kyle Fletcher does going forward.
And then next up, we had the TBS champion on the line in a fatal four-way where Mercedes took on Alex Windsor, Bozilla, and Persephone, where Mercedes Money comes out on top and retains the TBS champion.
Yeah, this was one of those matches where, I always go into Mercedes matches very excited for the match, and I want to see Mercedes just pop off and go crazy because that's what she does. But this wasn't necessarily one of those matches. This was one of the ones where you seen her take a lot of the beating during the match. She let all the other wrestlers kind of get their moves off, and she made the other wrestlers look very good during this match, and then she gets the sneaky win at the end, of course. But yeah, this was very good. I feel like Alex Windsor looked very good. Persephone, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, but she looked absolutely amazing. I would absolutely love to see her versus Mercedes one more time in a singles match. But yeah, this was a pretty good match. Maybe didn't meet my expectations, but it also could be because I just wasn't too familiar with everyone in the match.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this match. I love Mercedes' entrance when she came out, having the Royal Guards kind of hold each title. I thought that was really cool. And then, yeah, this match was really fun in my opinion. I loved Bozilla in this match. I think she made me a fan. I think she's somebody who definitely in a few years can become a very top women's free agent on the market. I know she's still fairly new to pro wrestling, so yeah, she definitely has a long way to go, but had a very good performance tonight. And then Persephone and Alex Windsor continue to show how good they are and have been over this year. So yeah, overall really good match. But I do agree with you where it felt more like a match for everybody else to showcase, where Mercedes just to retain at the end. But yeah, I still really enjoyed this match. And then next up, we had the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion where Zack Sabre Jr. took on Nigel McGuinness, and Zack Sabre Jr. comes out on top and retains the champion. Yeah, how'd you feel about this one?
Yeah, this was pretty fun match here. A lot of interaction between Daniel Garcia and Zack Sabre Jr. Leading to potentially something with them later down the line. But yeah, this was pretty good for what it was. Obviously, Nigel McGuinness, he's getting up there in age, so he's not going to be like he was in Ring of Honor back in the day or anything. But when you're in there with Zack Sabre Jr., he's able to make pretty much anybody look good. It doesn't matter who you are. He's an amazing wrestler, probably New Japan's best person that they have on their roster in my opinion. But yeah, this was a pretty good match. Zack Sabre Jr. looking great, of course. A little bit of blood going throughout the match from some sort of accident that may or may not have happened throughout the match. But yeah, this is a pretty cool match here for Zack.
Yeah, I mean, this was a match that a lot of people would call a dream match. I think for both of these men, it felt like a dream match for them too. After the match, they both gave each other their respects and stuff like that. But yeah, the entire match was great. You had Johnny Saint, a UK and wrestling legend, ringside, who kind of gave Nigel a little bit of a pep talk before the match. And yeah, this was a perfect chemistry between these two. If you like the more grab, technical, get a hold style, this is perfectly up that alley. Both men obviously masters of that style, and they put on a great match here tonight. But yeah, Zack Sabre Jr. and Dane Garcia could be something that's pretty fun that we could see further down the line.
Yeah, for sure.
And then next up, we had the World Tag Team Champions on the line in the three-way, where Hurt Syndicate put their titles up against Brodito and FTR, and surprisingly, Brodito comes out on top and gets the belts, and we have our new Tag Team Champions.
Yeah, this wasn't too surprising for me. Brody and Bandito were definitely picking up a lot of steam leading up to this pay-per-view, where a lot of fans online were talking very highly of them. If you're a fan of the channel, you know I'm a huge fan of Brody King. Not so much of Bandito, but, you know, I do kind of, you know, the pairing is what it is. People absolutely love them together. They do pretty good stuff in the ring and everything, so I'm happy that they did get the win. I feel like it was time for the Hurt Syndicate to give up those titles, and it's probably time for Bobby and Shelton to move on to that singles division and kind of start looking towards some of those titles in that division. But yeah, this was probably, at this point, maybe the best match of the night. It was pretty good, high-flying stuff all over the place. But yeah, this was a good one.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this match. I do like the team of Brody King and Bandy. I think it is kind of one of those makeshift tag teams that do sort of work. And yeah, I think this is really fun. I'm happy that we've seen Hurt Syndicate drop the belts here tonight, but hopefully that just means they get on to some bigger things. Obviously, MJF could potentially walk out on the night with the world title, so who knows what happened in that match. But yeah, I'm glad that Brody King and Bandito win. It gives something that AEW kind of has high stakes in both these men, and it's a good way to kind of get them on TV more frequently now with the tag team belts, so I don't really too mind this decision. But yeah, next up we had the Unified Championship on the line, where Kazuchika Okada had his belt up against Swerve Strickland, and Okada retains once again.
Yeah, this is a match that I have very high expectations for, and maybe it didn't meet those expectations, but it's still an absolute banger of a match. I definitely was looking forward to see what was going to happen. We've seen the rumors of maybe Swerve Strickland having to go out and have surgery, so I was sort of looking forward to see what was going to happen towards the end of this match and what would be the move that kind of took him out for good. And I guess we got to see that. Maybe we'll see him in action one more time on Dynamite or something, but this kind of felt like this was maybe the last time we'll see him for a little bit. But yeah, this was a good match. Okada obviously retains it. He's moving on here. And, you know, maybe we'll look forward to seeing a Kyle Fletcher and Okada in the future, or a Takeshita and Okada, because Takeshita has a new teammate to his group that we'll talk about a little bit later.
Yeah, let's talk about it right now. After the match, Okada attacks Swerve. He puts his knee between the steps and the ring post and hits the chair on his leg multiple times. And then Nana comes out to kind of with a steel pipe to kind of run Okada away. And then out comes Wardlow. He makes his big return, and he attacks Swerve Strickland multiple times, or Prince Nana multiple times rather, and kind of just stares him down. And then as Don Callis and Kazuchika Okada are walking back to the aisle, or to the ramp, Wardlow joins them and kind of aligns himself with the Don Callis family. So Don Callis adds his 18th member to this group. That's not an official number, but it feels like it nowadays. But yeah, cool that Wardlow is back. Obviously, him in a Swerve match could be pretty fun, but it is weird because the last time we did see Wardlow was like 2 years ago, and that was with MJF, I think. So who knows what the deal with Wardlow is going to be, but at least he's in Don Callis' family, which kind of has made a lot of big stars over the past year. So hopefully some big things coming for him as well.
Yeah, not a huge fan of him in the Don Callis family, because there's a lot kind of going on with that group right now. But I think something cool that kind of I picked up on was when Takeshita kind of came out. He kind of got his own entrance aside from all the other members of the Don Callis family. They kind of locked eyes as they were walking back, and that kind of made me think that maybe I could be right about my earlier prediction of maybe a babyface Takeshita run and a split, and then Wardlow's the new Don Callis guy is kind of bigging up a lot. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to see what the Don Callis is going to do with him, because Wardlow is definitely one of those people that a lot of people have very high expectations of, and there's a lot of moments where maybe AEW could have pulled the trigger but didn't necessarily do it, but maybe now's that time where they pull the trigger, let him go on a run, and give him something big to kind of get a grasp of.
Yeah, but next up we had the Women's World Championship on the line, where Toni Storm puts her belt up against Athena, and surprisingly once again, Toni Storm retains, and Athena loses her Casino Gauntlet contract match. And timeless Toni Storm retains once again and continues this championship reign. So I guess now we have the forever women's world champion in AEW.
Yeah, I definitely thought that, I kind of had a feeling that MJF was going to lose going into it. At the start of the pay-per-view, before it started, I was thinking more towards MJF winning. But as the pay-per-view went on, it kind of felt more and more like Hangman was going to get that big win after, some of the previous matches leading into it. But this one, like I said, I thought Athena was going to pick it up. I thought we were going to have a new champion, Mercedes retain. So I felt like this one was going to be the one that did change hands. But it didn't. This was an absolute banger of a match. This was definitely the best match of the night at this point of the card. But yeah, Toni Storm proving why she's one of the best. Athena proving why she's also one of the best as well. And she's still very young on the AEW roster, so it'll be very interesting to see where Athena goes in the very near future.
Yeah, I talked about how surprising this was, but it kind of opens up the question that who is next to defeat Toni Storm? Who will take this world championship off of her? Being Athena now, being Mercedes at All In, she kind of took it almost everybody besides a few of the babyface like a Willow, a Chris. So I guess maybe that is next in line. I definitely wouldn't mind that. And at this point, I kind of hope it is one of those two women to eventually take the title off of Toni Storm. But getting there should be pretty interesting considering Toni, Athena, or Toni, Willow, and Chris are all babyfaces kind of. So who knows what's going to happen there. But yeah, another great defense for Toni Storm and continuing an amazing year for her in title defenses on big PLEs. But next up in the World Championship match between Hangman Adam Page and MJF, the official main event for Forbidden Door, Hangman Adam Page comes out on top and retains the World Championship. And this isn't MJF's cash-in with the Casino Gauntlet, so he still can come back and go after Hangman Adam Page, but for now, Hangman stays on top.
Yeah, this was definitely the match of the night. I think this was the best match of the entire Forbidden Door here. This match went over 30 minutes, and it didn't even feel like it. I'm kind of surprised looking at the number in front of us right now because it definitely didn't feel like 30 minutes in the moment while watching the match. But yeah, MJF doing all his trickery during this match, all the heel moves you could think of, holding the refs, doing the low blows, hitting them with the contract, doing literally anything he can, but somehow Hangman Adam Page is able to kick out of it every single time, even the Heat Seeker after the ref bump. But yeah, this match was absolutely amazing. This was pretty much exactly what I thought the match would be, and that's exactly what they delivered. So very happy with this match. Happy Hangman retain, and I'm happy that MJF is still on the chase.
Yeah, this match, it's definitely have a few people talking about how the finish kind of happens. We've seen MJF kind of take out the ref, and he gets a visual pin on Hangman. Matter of fact, the ref actually counts 3, but Hangman had his foot on the rope before the ref could finish the count. He didn't really see it, but once he got back up, he did see it, and they recontinued the match. We also see Mark Briscoe try to come out after that had happened, which is kind of weird, but I don't mind seeing Mark Briscoe because him and MJF have their problems with one another, so I don't mind the crazy Mark Briscoe trying to get his get back. But Hangman ends up winning. But yeah, I really enjoy this match. Hangman showing why he is the world champion for a reason. MJF showing why he can always be a threat for that world champion. But yeah, this match was really fun. Did feel a little overbooked, but like I said, I don't mind it too much because it kind of did add to it more than it took away from it.
Yeah, I feel like the only thing that would really maybe a little bit like iffy about it was kind of the Mark Briscoe thing. I feel like that was kind of just like a time waster, time filler kind of thing that was there. But yeah, very amazing match. My match of the night. And yeah, Hangman Adam Page is proving why he is the world champion, and he does deserve to be in that spot.
Yeah, and then after our World Championship match, the lights went out for the Lights Out Steel Cage match, the unsanctioned match that AEW does. And yeah, we had Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi, Darby Allin, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Will Ospreay defeat the Death Riders and the Young Bucks. And yeah, this was an absolutely crazy match. As you can imagine, this is a steel cage, but they kind of did it more of in a Hell in a Cell type of way, where it kind of had some room on the outside you can walk over, and the top wasn't closed in, so you'd be seeing a lot of stuff from the top of the cages. But yeah, this match was absolutely insane, as you can imagine.
Yeah, this was definitely one of those matches where I think everyone who saw this on paper thought, okay, something insane, absolutely insane is going to happen in this match. And, depending on who you are or what you think about pro wrestling, or maybe you didn't get that feeling of kind of satisfaction from it, because I feel like maybe I didn't. I have to kind of rewatch this match one more time to kind of rethink about how I felt about it. But yeah, I feel like there was no real huge moment. There's obviously big things that happened. Will Ospreay doing the huge moonsault off the top onto everyone was very, very cool. Darby Allin doing kind of like a coffin drop with Gabe Kidd on his back kind of, or something like that. I'm not sure what it was exactly, but that was very cool as well. But there was a lot of good stuff in here. Of course, Hiroshi Tanahashi does end up being the one to get the pin at the end and, you know, get his hand raised high and his music playing in the back. But yeah, this was a really, really solid match. The Young Bucks absolutely carried the first half of this match, putting on an amazing just tag team performance as usual from them with their kind of just their tag team moveset in general. They're just able to just kind of bounce around the ring, bouncing off of each other, doing these really cool moves. And yeah, obviously with the help of the Death Riders and everything, that also makes it even that little bit more interesting with the fighting on the outside and everything that was happening in this match is very chaotic. But yeah.
Yeah, this match, like you said, absolutely insane. Yeah, the Young Bucks definitely MVPs of this match. They had a lot of comedy spots throughout this match. At one point, with their entrance, they had their first ever theme song play at the start, and then once early in the night, they said they want some crazy weapons, some dangerous weapons underneath the ring, and Matt pulls out a bag of what can only presume to be thumbtacks, but as he pours it, it is only to be revealed as gummy bears, which was a nasty spot that Tanahashi does to Matt. So yeah, a really cool spot from them. But yeah, this match is absolutely insane. And one thing I didn't notice that we'll kind of start talking about now, which led to the ending, is after the match, Will Ospreay's in the ring and he kind of gives kind of like a goodbye in a way, where it's kind of known that after this match he is taking time off to do with his surgery and stuff like that. But Jon Moxley and the Death Riders attack him after the match. They lock out the other members of Ospreay's team and yeah, just kind of obliterate him. We've seen the Ops come out and try to help him, but at the end of the show, Ospreay's on the ground with the Death Riders walking away with the L, but with the last laugh at the end of the night.
Yeah, for sure. I was somewhat expecting something to happen because Ospreay didn't really take like a huge bump, and then once he kind of locked himself in the cage with a few of the members of the Death Riders and whatnot, I kind of saw it coming a little bit. But at the same time, the way that they did it with the credits rolling and then it happened after the credits, I feel like that was very good to kind of throw you off a little bit and make you think, oh no, it's over, but no, it's not. But yeah, definitely gonna be out for a while. That's very unfortunate. Wish obviously a speedy recovery for both Will Ospreay, Swerve Strickland, and maybe a lot of other people in this match as well that kind of bumped around a lot here. But yeah, without, you know, Darby, or without Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland moving forward, it's going to be an interesting time in AEW to see who they want to move forward. We see Brodito got their big win. The women's titles haven't yet changed, so that'll be a big storyline going forward, of course, to see who are those next up women. But yeah, I feel like it's a very interesting time in AEW, especially after this pay-per-view.
Yeah, and one thing we didn't really mention throughout the show was that Daniel Bryan, or Bryan Danielson, was at commentary for the entire night besides this Lights Out match, and he kind of said before he walked off, was saying that I have my personal animosity with some of the members on the teams, so I will step away, which kind of made me think that he was going to be the one to save Ospreay at the end of the night, but he didn't. So I kind of asked the question, do we think we see Bryan Danielson, and is he the one to fully end the Death Riders? Because at the end of the day, he is the one who kind of started the Death Riders as well.
Yeah, I think potentially we could see a Wrestle Dream match with Darby Allin and Moxley, where also Bryan Danielson gets involved. This pay-per-view, I believe, is going to be in Seattle again this year. I could be wrong about that, but I do believe it's going to be in Seattle, and they're both from Seattle. So, you know, I feel like that's kind of maybe what I would do. But as well as Swerve being from the same area as well, you'd really want him to be involved in something like that. And if he's going to be gone for a while, I don't know if he will be. Yeah, that, like you said, there's a lot of questions to be asked right now. And yeah, I guess we'll find out this Wednesday on what those answers will be.
Yeah. But to close out our Forbidden Door results and review, what was your favorite match from Forbidden Door?
Hangman, Adam Page, and MJF for sure. I remember mentioning before the pay-per-view started, we were kind of talking about it a little bit, and I was like, I don't think Hangman and MJF will be the best match of the night, because there's like all these other things. I felt like it'll be the main event, but not the best. And I was wrong. It was the main event and the best. So yeah, Hangman, Adam Page is the GOAT, I guess.
Yeah. But that will wrap it up for our Forbidden Door results and review. Let us know what you guys thought about the show down in the comments below. And if you haven't already, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe on the channel. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far, we will see you guys in the next one.